by. Go, go, go!
Welcome to Anvil Airsoft TV in association with TaiwanGun.com. In this episode we're going to be looking at and range testing the CM.041J high-speed MP5 from Cyma. This is a replica of the classic H&K MP5 submachine gun, widely adopted by counter-terrorist and police forces all over the world. Keep watching to find out more about it, how it performs and just how far it can shoot. .2s. And we've got 28 BBs a second. TaiwanGun have sent me the Cyma CM.041J high-speed AEG to review for their channel. These replicas come ready for CQB action with a velocity of around 330 FPS with a 0.2 gram BB or about 1 joule in power. What's more, with an 11.1 LiPo battery, they can shoot at 25 BBs per second. This also leads to a very crisp trigger response in semi-auto mode. In order to do this reliably, the gearbox parts have been carefully chosen. We'll have a closer look inside later, but for now the highlights include a reinforced version 2 gearbox shell, a full steel rack polycarbonate piston, CNC machined 13:1 ratio steel gear set, CNC machined aluminium bearing piston head, a CNC machined aluminium cylinder head, a ball bearing spring guide and a high speed motor. So let's take a look at what you get in the box. The replica itself, you get a mid-capacity magazine. This takes around 130 BBs, a small manual, and TaiwanGun.com test certificate, a cleaning rod, a small Allen key. The replica is made mostly from alloy die castings and nylon injection mouldings. The metal parts include the flash hider, outer barrel, front sight block, cocking tube, cocking lever, upper receiver, magazine well and the sliding stock rails. The polymer parts include the stock pad, pistol grip and lower receiver and the handguard. The first impressions in the hand are of weight and a sturdy build. It's similar in weight to a real one. The largely metal construction reinforces this, and although real MP5s are made from stamped and welded steel rather than a die casting, Cyma have gone to great lengths to replicate the look and feel of the original. Starting from the muzzle end, the Cyma has a large flash hider. This can be easily removed by sliding this lever up and rotating it away from the retaining pin. It can then be rotated around 60 degrees and slid off. This reveals the classic HK style tri-lug muzzle and a thread protector. The thread protector unscrews in a clockwise direction and reveals a standard Airsoft 14mm counterclockwise thread. This allows you to use suppressors and tracer units of your choice. Coming back, we find the front sight block and sling point. The front sight is protected by this full-size hood and it's easy to use. There are some nice fake spot welds which again add to the realism of the replica. The cocking lever can be moved back and locked into this recess which then opens the ejection port. Inside there is the hop adjustment lever. This can be moved with a finger, or you may find it easier to use a small Allen key like the one supplied. Once the hop is set to your liking, you should gently release the cocking lever back into its forward position. Although it's tempting to do the HK slap, this could result in damage to your replica over time. The batteries are stowed in the front handguard. To get to the space, remove this pin here, rotate the handguard down and slide it off. The connector is a mini Tamiya and there's also a fuse. To use a battery, place it into the handguard and then connect it up. Slide the rear of the handguard onto the receiver and then rotate the front up. Replace the pin and you're ready to go. I was sent this 11.1 LiPo battery for testing. The Cyma comes with a 130 BB mid-cap. You can purchase more of these from TaiwanGun.com, or if you prefer, there are other mid-cap and high caps available there too. The magazine is inserted into the magwell here. There are two methods to release it, either with a paddle behind or using the button on the side of the receiver. On the magwell there is a unique serial number. On top of the upper receiver is the HK style diopter rotating rear drum sight. These are among the best iron sights I've used and are entirely suitable for airsoft use. The drum has 4 positions with holes of varying sizes. The rear sight can also be adjusted for windage by loosening this screw here and sliding the sight from side to side. Again, there are some excellent mock welding marks on the upper receiver which really add to the realism. If you prefer to use optics, you can order the Cyma rail mount for MP5 from TaiwanGun.com. This mount clamps to these points on the upper receiver and gives you a short piece of rail to attach a red dot or magnified optic to. Here it is with an EOTech mounted. The lower receiver is made of a tough polymer and is of the navy style with bullet pictograms rather than the more classic SEF markings. The fire selector is ambidextrous and has safe, semi and full auto modes. The stock is retractable and has a soft rubber butt pad. It has 3 positions: stowed, intermediate and all the way out. The stock is adjusted by moving this lever sideways and pulling. So that's the features of the Cyma. Let's take it to the range and see how it performs. Welcome to Thurlaston Airgun and Archery Centre, where we're going to range test the Cyma MP5. To do that, I've got these electronic attack sense targets that flash when they're struck by a BB. That way you can see and I can see when I've hit the target. I'm going to put targets out today at 40, 45, 50, 55 and then one a bit nearer at 30 metres. So we're going to start the range test on the Cyma CM.041J. We're going to work through a range of BLS BBs from 0.2 up to 0.3. Again, we've got targets at 30 metres and then 40, 45, 50 and 55 metres. We've done a bit of testing prior to this and we know it's not quite going to reach out much further than that. But let's get going and show you what it can do. So we'll start off, as I said, with 0.2 gram BLS BBs and we'll do the effective range test. The effective range test is 5 out of 10 shots onto a torso-sized target, which luckily is the size of the attack sense target, and we'll see how far we can push that out. First, I'm going to set the hop for 0.2s. I'll chrono it, and then we'll go for range. 336, 333, 340, 339, 340, 341, 339, 339. 340, 341, 339, 342, 338, 339, 340. That's pretty consistent. So we've just done the chrono, 0.2s, and we've got 28 BBs a second. Certainly effective at 30 metres. Okay, 40 metres. To me, the gun is 40 metre capable effective, but the 0.2 ammo is just a bit too light. A little bit blustery winds down there and they're moving left to right a bit more. So it's probably 30 in really good conditions, 40 metre effective range. Now we'll go for maximum range. Now we're not airsoft mortaring, so we're not firing up in an arc. I'm firing pretty much at the targets or just slightly above. Okay, so that's the maximum range test with the 0.2 gram BBs. We fairly convincingly hit the 50 a lot, but the BBs were hitting the bottom of the tripod of the 55 metre target. We can hear it pinging. So Rizzo, 55 metre maximum range, probably actually a bit shorter than that. Okay, 0.23 gram BLS precision BB. 318, 319, 316, 319, 318, 317, 316, 318, 317, 316. Again, very consistent. All right, 30 metres. I think that'll do, 30 metres. 40. Well, I'm pretty happy that that's effective at 40 metres with the 0.23 gram BBs. So we'll push it out to 45. So we're just about there. It is very good conditions just at the moment, but it's just about effective at 45. Okay, max range test, full auto bursts. See how far we go. It's holding over. So they're falling between the 50 and 55 metre mark at about 53. If I hold a little bit over, I can creep them out to about 55, but you have to hold right over your target. So we've got BLS Precision 0.25 gram BBs, and we're going to repeat the same set of tests. 308, 305, 305, 303, 304, 303, 303, 300, 301, 300. Excellent. And now we'll go for effective range with the 0.25s. Right, 30 metre, no problem. 240. .40, no problems. 45, next. Okay, 45 metres effective with the 0.25s. Try and see if we can get a 50 metre effective this time. Okay, I just can't get consistent hits. The BB towards the end of its flight is just moving around a bit too much. So 45 metre effective range. Now we'll go for maximum range. So with the 0.25 gram BB, we got an effective range of 45, not quite 50, wasn't quite consistent enough. And I could get full auto hits out at 55 and the BBs were flying just a couple metres past, so 56, 57 metres. 275, 276, 278, 279, 278, 279, 279, 278, 279, 279. So, effective range test, 0.28 gram BB. That's effective at 30. Well, that's pretty effective at 40 metres. Move on to 45. Okay, well, that's effective at 45. Let's try 50. Well, that's effective at 50 metres. Seems to really like these 0.28s. Just can't really get them to reliably connect at 55 metres. So we'll do a maximum range test. Okay, so we're reasonably easily hitting the 55 metre mark with full auto bursts, and they're falling about 3 to 4 metres beyond that. So they're falling around the 57, 58 metre mark. 267, 265, 266, 265, 265, 265, 265, 266, 266, 266, 269. Well, that was pretty good, so let's do 40. Is no problems. 45. Okay, that's 45. So that's effective at 50 metres. So we'll try 55, but see how we get on. Okay, I just can't quite consistently land hits at 55, nearly there, but just not quite. So we'll go to full auto and do a maximum range test. So we finished our effective and maximum range tests with the Cyma MP5. With the 0.3 gram BBs, we got out to just shy of 60 metres with an effective range of about 50 metres. So doing really well. So the next thing we're going to do is our 30-metre accuracy test using the 0.3 gram BBs. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 19, 20, 21, 22. So 50 centimetre left to right and 30 centimetres top to bottom, 30 round test with the MP5. Final part of the review, we're going to do the disassembly and gearbox inspection on the Cyma CM.041J. Before we do that, I just want to show you something I've noticed which is quite cool. So to remove the stock, press out and remove this pin, come over to this side and slide the butt cap off, or whatever you want to call it, gently, and you'll find anything you need to be wary of is this little latch here. Just be careful with that. We're going to reattach that, the longer end down with the shorter end pointing towards the front of the gun, and then the latch just drops in. I also got this Cyma full stock, so the A2 variant, and this just very nicely just slides on, push the pin through, and you have a full stock MP5. What's more, it's also wired back here to this connector. If you disconnect this section with the female connector is what runs all the way to the front of the gun, to the hanger underneath the handguards. That means you can just plug in a little length to run into your full stock. Brilliant. What a fantastic option. So I'm going to push out this pin. The pin comes out, and then the gearbox assembly comes all the way out. Super easy disassembly. And you can see how the wire to the front just runs in this recess in the receiver here. Take out the fake bolt. There's the hop unit and barrel. That just comes out nicely as well. Barrel's got a nice crown on it. Looks to be fibre reinforced polymer. So that's great. Comes apart really nicely. So this is a version 2 gearbox with radiusing on the front edge here, front corners. So the next thing is going to go in, undo this bolt here. Okay. Next, take a fire selector off. Grub screw just there. Quite a strong magnet on this motor. That's simple as that. That'll select a cam. This is the gearbox. Pretty easy to get to it really. So let's get this gearbox shell open and have a look for you. So let's do a quick gearbox tour and I'll give you my thoughts. So that's a steel bearing spring guide and the spring. So that's lovely. Vented silenced piston head. Full steel rack. The second to last tooth has been cut down. Very slick cylinder. No sharp edges in there. Very, very smooth. CNC double O-ring piston head. Nozzle is standard. No O-ring in there. Bushing's pretty good, even with the nozzle on. Look at the gears. So we've got bearings. So steel gears on bearings. Cyma branded, you can see. Plenty of grease. Again, bearings. So these are a 13:1 single sector gear. CNC steel. Right, let's get these back together and give it a quick shimming test. As you'd imagine, for a gun which does 28 rounds a second, is pretty good. Certainly good for a stock gun. So there you go, that's the internals of the Cyma CM.041J MP5 high speed edition. Some really nice components. Shimming's pretty good, gears are good, piston and cylinder head really nice. Bearing spring guide. It's great components. Disassembly is painless. Shoots well. I think that's a solid recommendation from me. I really like it. I hope you enjoyed this overview and range test of the Cyma CM.041J high speed, courtesy of TaiwanGun.com. We think it's a great replica, one of the most iconic firearms of the 20th century. Fantastic for anyone wanting to do a classic Special Forces or SWAT loadout. It's now part of our armoury. If you want to see more from me, then head over to Anvil Airsoft TV on YouTube, and you'll find more than 100 videos to watch on a huge range of subjects. Thanks again to TaiwanGun.com for making this review possible. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.